Did you know the U.S. Mint produced 1.6 billion 1976 bicentennial quarters? I'm sure we're all familiar with this design. The reality is, back in the day when they first started producing these coins, they didn't produce that much until they realized that people were hoarding these coins because something like this had never been done before. Many people thought that these coins would one day be worth a lot of money, and that's true in some instances. Now most of these coins have metal compositions of 92% copper and 8% nickel. These coins will typically weigh 5.67 grams. It's important to know that there are 4 different types of bicentennial quarters, and depending on which one you have could dictate the value significantly. Now with the bicentennial design coins, these coins were either produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which will have no mint mark, you'll have a coin with a D mint mark, standing for the Denver Mint, or you'll have a coin with S mint mark, standing for the San Francisco Mint. So as we know, a D mint mark standing for the Denver Mint. This 1976 bicentennial coin was graded by NGC, a Mint State 68. Now the highest achievable grade and grading is 70. This one's only 2 points away from the perfect grade of 70. It's incredibly important to know that it's really challenging to get this high of a grade and grading. That's why understanding the condition of the coin is so important, because that heavily dictates the value. This coin grade is so highly, so it's sold for $6,462. Now S Mint marked coins, that is a silver composition coin. This had a massive grade by PCGS of a 69. If you find one of these coins, you can simply send it off to PCGS or NGC, which are the 2 biggest grading companies for coins, and think that you can get this high of a grade. Grading typically comes with years of experience and knowledge, and a lot of submitting with coins. It's not a cheap and easy thing to do. You know, there's turnaround times when you send your coin off to get graded. It's not going to be back next week unless you pay for an expedited service, which most of the time is not worth doing. It's really a big risk if you want to go ahead and spend hundreds or thousands of dollars grading, especially if you don't have that much knowledge. It takes years of experience, trial and error, and really being into it to understand what coins are worth getting graded and which are not. So if you have a silver coin and it grades really highly, there's a high probability that you have a coin worth a lot of money, because this one sold for $6,600. The 1965 Washington quarter is a coin with a fascinating history, largely due to its transitional role during a significant change in U.S. coinage. In this comprehensive exploration, we will delve into the origins of the Washington quarter, the circumstances surrounding the 1965 minting, the rarity of certain varieties of this coin, its value, and how collectors assess its significance. The history of the 1965 Washington quarter is rich with economic and political implications, making it an essential subject for numismatists and history enthusiasts alike. Historical context of the Washington quarter. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Initially intended as a one-year commemorative issue, the design proved so popular that it became the standard design for the quarter, replacing the standing Liberty quarter that had been in use since 1916. The original Washington quarter was composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, a common composition for U.S. coinage at the time. The coin's obverse, featuring a profile of George Washington, was designed by John Flanagan, while the reverse displayed an eagle with outstretched wings. This design remained largely unchanged for decades, although modifications were made over time to improve the coin's strike and longevity. The economic shift of 1965, the year 1965 marked a significant turning point in the history of U.S. coinage. Following World War II, the demand for silver surged due to both industrial use and the growing popularity of silver coinage among collectors. The U.S. government began facing a shortage of silver, and by the early 1960s, the price of silver had risen dramatically. As a result, the intrinsic value of silver coins, including the Washington quarter, began to exceed their face value, leading to widespread hoarding and a depletion of circulating coinage. In response to this silver crisis, the U.S. government took drastic action. Under the Coinage Act of 1965, the composition of U.S. coins was altered to eliminate silver content from circulating dimes and quarters. Starting with the 1965 Washington quarter, the coin was struck from a copper-nickel clad composition, consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This change allowed the government to continue minting coins without the need for increasingly scarce silver, while also reducing the incentive for hoarding. The transition in the 1965 Washington quarter, because of the transition from silver to clad coinage, 1965 quarters were not struck with any mint marks, meaning no coins were specifically designated as being minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. This lack of mint marks applied to quarters minted between 1965 and 1967, after which mint marks were reintroduced in 1968. The production of 1965 quarters spanned several years as the U.S. Mint worked to phase out the use of silver in circulating coins and transition to the copper-nickel clad composition. To prevent confusion and potential hoarding during this transitional period, the U.S. Mint also decided to delay the release of coins dated 1965 until enough new copper-nickel coins could be produced. The 1965 Washington quarter, therefore, represents a significant moment in U.S. numismatic history, as it symbolizes the end of an era of silver coinage and the beginning of a new period of modern, base metal coinage. Rare varieties and errors of the 1965 Washington quarter. While the 1965 Washington quarter is generally not considered a rare coin due to its high mintage, certain varieties and errors from this year are highly sought after by collectors. These rare varieties can significantly increase the value of a 1965 quarter, making them much more valuable than their face value. 1965 silver quarter, perhaps the most famous and sought-after variety of the 1965 Washington quarter, is the 1965 silver quarter. Despite the official change to copper-nickel clad coinage in 1965, a small number of quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964. These silver 1965 quarters are incredibly rare and valuable, as they represent an error in the minting process during a critical transitional period. To identify a 1965 silver quarter, collectors need to carefully examine the coin's composition. The easiest way to determine whether a quarter is made of silver or copper-nickel clad is to check the coin's edge. Silver quarters will have a solid silver-colored edge, while copper-nickel clad quarters will have a visible copper core along the edge. Additionally, a silver 1965 quarter will weigh approximately 6.25 grams, while a copper-nickel clad quarter will weigh around 5.67 grams. Silver 1965 quarters are extremely rare, with only a few confirmed examples known to exist. As a result, these coins can fetch prices ranging from several thousand to tens of thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and provenance. Double die errors. Another rare variety of the 1965 Washington quarter is the double die error. Double die errors occur when a coin's design is accidentally struck twice, resulting in a noticeable doubling of the design elements. On a 1965 Washington quarter, this doubling is most often seen on the obverse, particularly in the lettering of Liberty or the date. Double die errors are highly prized by collectors due to their rarity and visual appeal. Depending on the severity and location of the doubling, a 1965 double die quarter can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Off-center strikes. Off-center strikes are another type of minting error that can occur during the coin production process. An off-center strike happens when the coin planchet, is not properly aligned with the coin press, causing the design to be struck off-center. The resulting coin will have part of the design missing and a blank area where the planchet was not struck. Off-center 1965 Washington quarters are rare and can vary significantly in value depending on the degree of the off-center strike. Coins with a more dramatic off-center strike tend to be more valuable, with some examples selling for hundreds of dollars or more. Value of the 1965 Washington quarter. The value of a 1965 Washington quarter depends largely on its condition and whether it exhibits any of the rare varieties or errors mentioned above. Here is a breakdown of the value ranges for different types of 1965 quarters. Standard 1965 copper-nickel clad quarter. The majority of 1965 Washington quarters are made from copper-nickel clad and are not considered rare. In circulated condition, these coins are typically worth only their face value of 25 cents. However, uncirculated examples or those in particularly high grades can be worth slightly more, with values ranging from $1 to $10 depending on the coin's grade. 1965 silver quarter. As mentioned earlier, 1965 silver quarters are extremely rare and valuable. The exact value of a 1965 silver quarter depends on its condition, but prices generally start at several $1,000s. In high-grade condition, these coins can sell for tens of thousands of dollars at auction. For example, one of the few known 1965 silver quarters sold at auction for $7,050 in 2014. Since then, prices have only increased as collectors continue to seek out these rare transitional errors. Double die errors. The value of a 1965 double die Washington quarter depends on the severity and location of the doubling, as well as the coin's overall condition. Prices for double die error quarters typically range from $100 to $1,000, with particularly strong examples fetching even higher prices. Off-center strikes. The value of a 1965 Washington quarter with an off-center strike varies depending on the degree of the error. Coins with a minor off-center strike may sell for $50 to $100, while those with a more dramatic off-center strike can be worth several $100s or more. Grading and condition. As with all coins, the condition of a 1965 Washington quarter plays a significant role in determining its value. Coin grading is a standardized system used by numismatists to assess the condition of a coin, with higher grades indicating better preservation and fewer signs of wear. The most widely used coin grading scale is the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1, poor, to 70, mint state. Here's a brief overview of the different grades and what they mean for a 1965 Washington quarter. Good, G4 to G6. In this grade, the coin shows significant wear, with most of the details worn flat. The coin may have scratches, dings, and other signs of heavy circulation. A 1965 quarter in good condition is typically worth only its face value. Very fine, VF20 to VF35 coins in very fine condition show moderate wear, with most of the details still visible but slightly worn. The coin may have some luster remaining, but it will not be as shiny as an uncirculated coin. A 1965 quarter in very fine condition may be worth a few dollars. Extremely fine, EF40 to EF45 coins in extremely fine condition show only light wear, with most of the details still sharp and clear. The coin will have a fair amount of luster remaining and may be worth more than face value, depending on the market. About uncirculated, -50 Australian dollars to -58 Australian dollars. In about uncirculated condition, the coin shows only minor signs of wear, usually on the highest points of the design. The coin will retain much of its original luster and may be worth $1 to $10.
While the 1971 day quarter is not inherently rare, certain varieties and errors can increase its value significantly. Some of the most notable varieties include the 1971 D Washington quarter, minted in Denver, holds a special place in the series of Washington quarters that have circulated for many years. Here's a detailed exploration of the history and value of this particular coin, including its design, production nuances, and the rarest varieties. The Washington Quarter Series. The Washington Quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. The design was based on a sculpture by John Flanagan and has remained largely unchanged in its basic form until the State Quarters program in 1999. However, many minor details, including mint marks, metal composition, and slight design modifications, have occurred over the years. From 1932 to 1964, Washington quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper, weighing 6.25 grams. However, after the Coinage Act of 1965, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of quarters to a copper-nickel-clad structure, which drastically altered the coin's metallic value. The 1971 D Washington quarter, minting and design. The 1971 D Washington quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the primary mints in the United States, alongside the Philadelphia and San Francisco mints. In 1971, the coin featured the standard copper-nickel-clad composition, with a core of pure copper surrounded by layers of nickel-copper alloy. This change in composition occurred in 1965, replacing the previous 90% silver quarters, which made earlier silver quarters highly collectible. The obverse front of the coin features the iconic bust of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, facing left. Above Washington's head is the word Liberty, and to his left is the national motto, In God We Trust. The date 1971 is placed at the bottom of the obverse, with the mint mark D for Denver placed directly to the right of Washington's ponytail. On the reverse back of the quarter is the image of an eagle with its wings spread, holding a bundle of arrows in its talons, representing strength and preparedness. Below the eagle is an olive branch, symbolizing peace. The inscriptions United States of America and E pluribus unum out of many, one are placed above the eagle, while the denomination quarter dollar appears at the bottom. Production numbers and availability. In 1971, the Denver Mint produced approximately 258.6 million quarters. This high mintage number indicates that the coin is not particularly rare in terms of availability. Most 1971 day quarters were released into general circulation, and many remain in circulation today. However, finding a 1971 D Washington quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition can be more challenging due to the typical wear and tear from circulation. The high mintage numbers also mean that many of these quarters can still be found in pocket change, though most are worn from decades of use. Collectors who seek to add this coin to their collection often aim for higher-grade specimens, especially those graded by professional coin grading services. Varieties and errors. While the 1971 day quarter is not inherently rare, certain varieties and errors can increase its value significantly. Some of the most notable varieties include double die obverse DDO. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die obverse, where the details on the front of the coin appear doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process. This error can make the coin highly valuable, especially in high grades. Off-center strikes. This error occurs when the coin is not properly centered during the striking process, resulting in a portion of the design being missing. The degree to which the coin is off-center affects its value. Clipped planchette. This error occurs when a portion of the coin's planchette, the blank metal disc used to strike the coin, is missing, leading to a clipped appearance. Depending on the size and shape of the missing portion, this error can be worth a premium to collectors. Some of these error coins can command prices ranging from a few hundred to several $1,000s, depending on the rarity and condition of the error. Value of the 1971 D Washington quarter. The value of a 1971 D Washington quarter varies greatly depending on its condition, any errors it may possess, and the current market demand. Here's a general breakdown of its value. Circulated condition. In average circulated condition, a 1971 day quarter is typically worth its face value of 25 cents. Due to the high mintage, circulated examples are common and do not hold much numismatic value. Uncirculated condition MS60 to MS65. Uncirculated quarters in mint state MS condition, especially those graded MS60 to MS65 by professional grading services, can fetch higher prices. These coins typically range in value from $2 to $20, with the value increasing as the grade improves. Gem uncirculated condition MS66 and higher. Quarters in gem uncirculated condition, graded MS66 and above, are much rarer and can be valued at $50 or more. The finest known examples, especially those with exceptional luster and strike quality, can command even higher prices. Error coins. As mentioned earlier, quarters with errors, such as double dies or off-center strikes, can be worth significantly more. Depending on the type and severity of the error, these coins can range in value from $50 to several $1,000s. For example, a double die obverse in high grade might sell for several $100s, while a dramatic off-center strike could fetch even more. Proof coins. Although the Denver Mint did not produce proof coins, collectors may be interested in 1971 proof quarters struck at the San Francisco Mint. These proof coins are made using specially prepared dies and plankets to create a mirror-like finish. A 1971's proof quarter, though not rare, can be valued at around $2 to $5, depending on its condition. Collectability factors. Several factors contribute to the collectability and value of the 1971 D Washington quarter. Condition. As with most coins, the condition of the coin is paramount in determining its value. Coins that have been well preserved and show no signs of wear are highly sought after by collectors. Errors and varieties. As discussed, error coins and certain varieties can dramatically increase the value of a 1971 day quarter. Collectors are always on the lookout for these anomalies, and they are willing to pay a premium for rare errors. Historical significance. Although the 1971 day quarter is not particularly historic in its own right, it is part of the larger Washington quarter series, which has been in continuous production since 1932. Collectors who focus on Washington quarters often seek to complete a set, which includes the 1971 D coin. Market demand. The value of any coin is ultimately determined by supply and demand. While 1971 D quarters are not scarce, the demand for high-grade or error coins can drive up prices. Market fluctuations and trends in numismatics also play a role in determining the value of this quarter. Eye appeal. Coins with strong eye appeal, including good luster, sharp strikes, and minimal imperfections, are more desirable to collectors. Even slight differences in eye appeal can result in significant price variations. Conclusion. The legacy of the 1971 D Washington quarter. The 1971 D Washington quarter is a common coin in the larger Washington quarter series, but it still holds interest for collectors, particularly in high-grade, uncirculated condition, or with rare errors. The coin's value largely depends on its condition and any anomalies it may possess. As with many coins, rarity, demand, and historical significance all play a role in determining the ultimate worth of the 1971 day quarter. Collectors of Washington quarters often seek to complete a comprehensive collection that includes every mint mark and year, making the 1971 D an essential part of such a collection. Whether found in circulation or purchased from a dealer, this quarter continues to be a symbol of American coinage history, with the potential for certain specimens to be worth significantly more than their face value.
Hey coins collectors, welcome to my channel. If you are new on my channel, please subscribe and click on bell icon for more informative videos about coins. In this video, we are going over the 1980p Washington quarter dollar. The 1980p Washington quarter holds both numismatic value and historical significance. Produced at the Philadelphia Mint, it's part of a series that began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The quarter's design features a left-facing profile of Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. In terms of value, the 1980p Washington quarter typically trades at or slightly above its face value if it's in circulated condition. However, if it's in uncirculated or proof condition, its value can increase significantly, especially if it's graded by a reputable grading service. Factors like mint mark, condition, and rarity play a significant role in determining its worth to collectors, according to the NGC Price Guide. As of September 2024, a Washington quarter from 1980 in circulated condition is worth between $500 to $1,200. However, on the open market 1980p quarters in pristine, uncirculated condition sell for as much as $4,000 to $5,000. In 1980, the United States was going through significant political and economic changes. It was the height of the Cold War, with tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union dominating international relations. The Iranian hostage crisis was ongoing, with American hostages held in Iran for over a year. Domestically, the economy was facing challenges, including high inflation and rising unemployment rates. The 1980p Washington quarter serves as a small but tangible artifact of this period in American history. It circulated alongside other coins, each carrying its own story of the time. Collectors often seek out coins from specific years to complete sets or to commemorate significant events, making the 1980p Washington quarter a sought-after piece for numismatists interested in that era. According to the NGC Price Guide, as of May 2024, a Washington quarter from 1980 in circulated condition is worth between $500 to $1,200. However, on the open market 1980p quarters in pristine, uncirculated condition sell for as much as $4,000 to $5,000. As with any coin, the value of the 1980p Washington quarter can fluctuate based on market demand, economic conditions, and other factors. However, its historical significance as a representation of a particular moment in time ensures its lasting appeal to collectors and enthusiasts alike. The 1980p Washington quarter holds both historical significance and value within numismatics, the study and collection of coins. As for its value, several factors influence it, including its condition, rarity, and demand among collectors. Let's delve into its history, significance, and factors affecting its value. History of the Washington quarter. The Washington quarter, featuring the iconic image of George Washington on the obverse front and an eagle on the reverse back, has been a mainstay of American coinage since its introduction in 1932. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the quarter replaced the Standing Liberty quarter and commemorated the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The Washington quarter was originally intended as a one-year commemorative issue but proved immensely popular with the public. Consequently, it became a regular issue and remains in circulation today, though its design has undergone several modifications over the years. Significance of the 1980p Washington quarter. The 1980p Washington quarter was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, denoted by the P mint mark on the coin, while not as notable as certain earlier issues, such as those from the 1930s and 1940s. The 1980p quarter is part of the broader history of the series. In 1980, the United States was facing economic challenges, including high inflation and rising interest rates. These factors influence various aspects of American life, including coinage production. Despite these economic conditions, coin collectors continue to pursue new issues, contributing to the production of millions of quarters at the Philadelphia Mint. Factors affecting the value of the 1980p Washington quarter condition. The condition of a coin significantly affects its value. Coins in mint state, uncirculated, condition, without any wear or damage, command higher prices than those with signs of wear from circulation. Mintage. The number of coins minted plays a crucial role in determining their rarity and, consequently, their value. While millions of 1980p quarters were produced, lower mintages typically translate to higher values, all else being equal. Demand. Collectors. Demand for a particular coin can greatly influence its market value. Factors such as historical significance, design variations, and popularity among collectors contribute to demand. Varieties and errors. Certain varieties and errors in coin production can make specific coins more desirable to collectors, thereby affecting their value. Varieties include differences in design or minting techniques, while errors are unintentional deviations from the standard production process. Grading. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, MS, based on their condition. Coins graded higher on this scale generally command higher prices due to their superior condition and preservation. Current value and market trends. As of recent data, circulated 1980p Washington quarters typically have a value ranging from face value to a few dollars, depending on condition and other factors. Uncirculated specimens may fetch slightly higher prices, particularly if they are well preserved. It's essential to consult reputable sources, such as coin dealers, auction houses, or numismatic publications, to obtain the most accurate and up-to-date information on the value of specific coins. Additionally, market trends and collector preferences can fluctuate over time, influencing coin values. In conclusion, while the 1980p Washington quarter may not be the most sought-after or valuable coin in the series, it still holds significance within the broader context of American numismatics. Its value is influenced by factors such as condition, mintage, demand, varieties, and grading. Whether as a collectible item or a piece of American history, the 1980p quarter remains an intriguing aspect of coin collecting for enthusiasts and historians alike. The 1980p Washington quarter is a coin minted by the United States Mint in Philadelphia, denoted by the P Mint mark. In terms of its value, it largely depends on its condition, rarity, and demand among collectors. A circulated 1980p Washington quarter typically has a value close to its face value, which is 25 cents. However, if the coin is in uncirculated or mint condition, it may carry a slightly higher value to collectors. In terms of historical significance, the 1980p Washington quarter itself doesn't have any particular historical event associated with it. However, it's part of a long-running series of quarters featuring the portrait of George Washington, the first President of the United States, on the obverse, front, side and various designs on the reverse, back, side. The Washington Quarter series began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth and has continued ever since. Over the years there have been occasional changes to the design on the reverse side, but the portrait of Washington has remained a constant. If you have a specific coin and you're interested in its potential value, I'd recommend consulting with a professional coin appraiser or checking recent auction results for similar coins to get an idea of its market value. As of the current market, a circulated 1980p Washington quarter typically holds a value slightly above its face value, primarily due to its silver content. However, its numismatic value may increase if it is in uncirculated condition or if it exhibits any notable errors or varieties. Furthermore, the 1980p Washington quarter may hold sentimental value for individuals who were born or lived through the 1980s, as it serves as a tangible artifact from that period in American history. The 1980p Washington quarter holds both historical significance and value within numismatics, the study and collection of coins. As for its value, several factors influence it, including its condition, rarity, and demand among collectors. Let's delve into its history, significance, and factors affecting its value. History of the Washington Quarter. The Washington Quarter, featuring the iconic image of George Washington on the obverse front and an eagle on the reverse back, has been a mainstay of American coinage since its introduction in 1932. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the quarter replaced the standing Liberty Quarter and commemorated the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The Washington Quarter was originally intended as a one-year commemorative issue but proved immensely popular with the public. Consequently, it became a regular issue and remains in circulation today, though its design has undergone several modifications over the years. Significance of the 1980p Washington Quarter. The 1980p Washington Quarter was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, denoted by the P mint mark on the coin. While not as notable as certain earlier issues, such as those from the 1930s and 1940s, the 1980p Quarter is part of the broader history of the series. In 1980, the United States was facing economic challenges, including high inflation and rising interest rates. These factors influence various aspects of American life, including coinage production. Despite these economic conditions, coin collectors continued to pursue new issues, contributing to the production of millions of quarters at the Philadelphia Mint.